life in general. For years, talking about what you make was considered off limits. But nowadays, more and more people are being transparent on what they're actually making in their field of work. I got a few different clips. Check them out, and I'll come back with my commentary.
Back to my paycheck transparency, right? So this is what I would get. Like, say I didn't miss those 3 days. Say I showed up, whatever. This, and mind you, this is not even a full 80. So my check would be about $18.11 after taxes. It's gonna be $16.04. Even with that, right? This is gonna be my take home, so to speak. Maybe give or take a little bit more, a little bit less. I'm still in a drastic deficit.
Well, let's see how much my McDonald's manager paycheck was for these last 2 weeks. I came to the bank, but I think they're closed. I think I'm gonna have to come back after work to actually deposit my check. Let's see. I haven't even looked at it. I usually don't look at it. It's not that bad. 2 weeks worth of work, which is, somebody was asking last time, multiple times. This is for 68 hours, which means I did not work a full 40 hours within the 2 weeks. I did not work 40 hours, and I worked 69 hours, and I did get a $10 bonus, and it says they gave me 3 hours of sick time, and it's after taxes $1,056.
Yeah, I just thought about something. I stay in the state of Alabama, right? And just like everywhere else, the cost of living has went up. Food is high as for a single black. I'm paying $164, which is crazy. Gas is high. Like 1-bedroom apartments is high. So you down there paying $1,200 for a nice apartment, 1 bedroom. Everything is up. But the only thing that I haven't heard about, maybe I'm wrong, the fucking minimum wage. What happened to like the cost of living raise? Like, shouldn't they be paying you wherever you work the cost of living? Like, they should pay you what it costs to buy all this bullshit, to be able to buy groceries, still pay your bills, and still have money left over. Like, I feel like around this time, everybody's struggling. Yeah, people got money, you got money, but in some type of way, you still struggling.
What do you do for a living?
I am a flight attendant.
How much were you making as a flight attendant when you started versus now?
When I left my old airline, I was at about 70,000 at 5 years. This time around, as a new hire, I am making about 27,000.
So you had to go down?
Yeah, before taxes.
Hi you guys, so it's currently I think like 8:45, 8:41. I just got home from a shift and I got my first residency paycheck. I figured I'd come on camera and open it with you guys. Here goes nothing, I guess. Let's see, they got all these whatchamacallits here. Okay, so gross earnings is $2,227.68. Net pay is $1,774.26. Not horrible. Is this for 40 hours? I don't know how much this is for. Okay, so it has my hourly rate. My hourly rate is $39.78. I don't know how many hours this is for though, in total. So maybe I'll have to do some math or read the email that they sent. But yeah, this is kind of exciting. My first ever residency paycheck.
Mechanics are not paid what the door rate is. We absolutely aren't. And if anything, the higher the door rate goes, our wages stay the same. So the door rate's been going up and up and up, and our pay has been staying the same for almost 40 years. And in some cases, it's actually kind of going down. This is the reason I quit my last job. The door rate went up and they took money away from us. It's incredible. And you'll see in a lot of videos why mechanics are quitting. It's the same old story. And it's a powerful story. Is corporations, huge conglomerates, they're nickel and diming mechanics when we're the money makers. So please, general public, we are not paid the door rate. We are paid a very, very small fraction of that. The trend used to be When I first got in, my teacher said it was supposed to be 33% of the door rate. We're not even at 20% anymore. And it's just going to keep getting worse. And if you watch all these videos, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of comments of frustrated mechanics. And this is what I've been trying to bring to the public is we are a beat up group of people, and the more information and the more stuff we can get out to the public, the better. So next time you see a mechanic, thank him.
I'm a technical support specialist, and if you want to break in the IT, help desk, or tech support, and you have an A+ certification, Network Plus certification, Security Plus, and you can't even get an interview, listen to what I'm about to tell you, because likely you've been sold the biggest lie in the industry. And that lie is that a certificate is enough to land a job. It's not. I'm here to break it to you as somebody who doesn't have any of those certificates, who currently am sitting in my very first tech role without a degree. I didn't get a certificate. What you need to do is get experience, okay?
I got paid $9.49 and my bills equal $9.74. So I literally work to pay my bills. I never have money for groceries, barely. Sometimes maybe $90 if I'm lucky. I'm gonna have to go to the food pantry again, which is fine. I'm really blessed to have access to that. But I just wish that work meant something. Like, I wish I had enough. Like, I don't even have enough to cover my bills. So now I can only pay half of my power bill. Hopefully they don't want to freaking shut it off on me. Like, people talking about get a different job, it doesn't just work like that. I get 10 hours of sick a month and 10 hours of annual. My daughter has health conditions and I constantly have to be out of work. If I worked any other job, I'd be fired because I would have already taken 7 days off. They fire you if you need more time off because we're economic slaves. We work for this economy, but this economy doesn't work for us. Most of us are old, retired, living off of disability and security, complaining about not having enough. That's the American dream.
How is everyone affording life? Real question. How are you guys doing it? Because my daycare costs the same as our mortgage, which is just wild to me. And I had a crash out earlier today just about how like really expensive everything really truly is. And I just don't know how you guys are doing it. So I have a corporate 6-figure job. I should be able to afford life. We're not doing anything wrong. Just life is expensive. And I'm the breadwinner in my household. There's this like constant stress, like hanging over my head all the time of you got to make more to provide for your family, especially in this day and age. And it's wild because at the same time, I'm stuck in these corporate handcuffs and I am going through burnout. I don't want to continue doing this. I have like the mental load, hanging over my head. I'm trying to be a good mom, let alone like a good wife, daughter, sister, friend, which I'm failing at all of those things, I feel like. And if you have any tips or tricks of how you're getting through, would love to connect on them because it's wild.
Quick question to any Americans, between the ages of 35 to 45, especially if you have kids, but even if you don't, how are we affording things? How are you affording anything? And houses and cars, that's not really what I'm talking, but yeah, that. I mean more like, how are you affording gas and groceries and healthcare and utilities and all the other 900 subscriptions that are required to live these days? How are you doing that? I'm assuming you all also are not, you're not taking any vacations, and you've like us have just cut out the coffee and the Target shopping and the activities for the kids as much as you can. You've taken away, you've gotten rid of pretty much anything fun. Like, you're not having any more fun. Assuming you're also doing that, how are you living? If you have any tips or tricks, just go ahead and drop them in the comments.
This is why the average American is struggling and complaining about wages and the cost of living. Here's the math. There's about 80 million Americans making $50,000 or less. And these are essential jobs that we need to operate this entire country. And they are being underpaid. $50,000 after taxes, 401k, and health insurance is $2,900 a month take-home pay in 2026. Let's say they find an apartment with utilities for $1,500 a month. Let's say that they do a perfect budget of $100 a week for groceries. They don't eat out. They don't do DoorDash. They are perfect when it comes to their food. $400. Let's say they get a used car well below the average for $300 to get them back and forth on their 45-minute commute. Then they have $150 for car insurance, $150 for gas, $150 for cell phone and internet, and $100 for personal care. Leaves them with $150. And they have no student loans and no credit cards. How is somebody in America in 2026 who is financially perfect, zero debt, investing in their 401k, budgeting to the dime, has $150 left over? How do they go on dates? How did they travel? God forbid, what if someone passes away in their family and they have to go travel out of state to the funeral, or a friend is getting married? They would have to put that on a credit card. We have built an economy that if you're perfect, you still have to have a second job in order to make progress. And it's so exhausting to hear people just throw out these things. Would you ever think about cutting your expenses? What are you gonna cut? This person is perfect.
You know what? They keep saying that we're in the age of disclosure, and I think that they're right. But I think we also need to start disclosing something else, like on a personal level. Like, I think more people, especially Americans, need to start disclosing how much they are struggling financially. Like, I made a video yesterday talking about how this is my first job that I've been able to land since November of last year. I'm not full time. That job is not full time. It is $19 an hour. It is 32 hours a week. My lease renewal, I've got my third notification about my lease renewal. I cannot afford to renew this lease, and I also can't afford to move, because if you move, what do you got to do? Deposit, admin fee, application fee, paying for the moving truck, taking time off of work, all this extra stuff that you have to pay for. I cannot afford to do either one. And a lot of people are in this position right now. A lot of people cannot find a job. And it's not because there's just a natural scarcity when it comes to job. It is a manufactured scarcity. They're not hiring anyone. They're cutting 90% of their workforce and getting the remaining 10% to do the work of the other 90%, while not increasing their pay. The cost of everything is going up, but everybody keeps reporting record profits. Nobody can afford to pay their workers a livable wage, but everybody has record profits. But you know who does get paid? The shareholders, who do absolutely nothing for the company. This is the state of the economy, right? Like, this is a reality. This is real. And this is where we all are. It's a lot more people that are just too embarrassed to say. You should never be embarrassed about what this system has done to you.
Okay, so there you have it. So you got a couple different perspectives on what people are making in their respective profession. And what was a shocker for you? Leave a comment down below. But at the end of the day, you know, everybody has a reason that they choose their profession or what type of work they do. You know, some very well may be kind of tied into an endless cycle of convenience. You know, the one lady, she literally had to stay with her job because it was flexible. And I imagine maybe the manager may have some type of empathy for her daughter's condition, you know, but some employers, man, they very well can only put up with it so much until, you know, ultimately you and the job will have to part ways. And that's unfortunate. But leave a comment down below if you are in one of these professions, and, you know, have you noticed your pay has been stagnant, or you're making more money than you ever made before and you're just not seeing a significant change in your bank account, or you making more money than what you made before and you find yourself spending a lot more, you know, just to stay afloat. All right, y'all. I really appreciate y'all hearing what I got to say, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.